of them, but you got any like thoughts like on FBG Duck? You know, any thoughts on him? Like, did you know him?
Who Duck?
Did you know him before? Like everything?
No like that. I don't know. On game. All I know, don't say that about Troy or rest in peace. Duck.
Everyone knew that Vaughn was a cold-blooded killer, but no one knew that Durk was a whole mafia boss who was ordering hits and flying out gang members in private planes. Footage of a murder they took part in is going viral on social media, and what has been uncovered will shock you. Vaughn and Durk cause mayhem in the streets, and I'm about to show you how dangerous they were. Murder footage goes viral. Durk has a lot on his plate. At the moment, one of the things keeping him awake in his cell is the fact that the feds have video footage of his crimes. The feds have footage of Duro's goons following Quando Rondo around in law. What's even more damning is that the feds also have footage of OTF members committing the murder they are accused of. But that's not the only footage that is going viral, because he was also involved in a murder with V that was caught on camera. This is the murder of FBG Duck. In August 2020, FBG Duck was shot and killed at Michigan Avenue and East Oak Street in the Gold Coast area of Chicago. CCTV footage showed a black car stop in front of a store and armed men jump out and immediately start letting off shots as Duck tries to escape. In vain, they then jump back in the black vehicle, and a gray Chrysler, which was also involved in the crime, sped away, leaving Duck to die. More footage showed the gray Chrysler pulling up to a block with a cop car in pursuit. New evidence as well as old interviews point to Durk and Vaughn for ordering and paying O-Block gang members to carry out the hit. Just days before his arrest, Durk was caught up in a lawsuit filed by Lena Weekly, FBG Duck's mother, who took a bold step by filing a lawsuit against Lil Durk, his record label Only the Family, and the estate of King Von. The lawsuit alleges that these parties not only condone but also profit from the violence that led to her son's death. Central to the lawsuit is the claim that King Vav, who was killed just 3 months after FBG Duck had placed a $100,000 bounty on Duck's life. The civil suit against Durk also claims Alamo Records, Sony Music Entertainment, Universal Music Group Recordings, and Empire Distribution are responsible for bankrolling the OTF criminal enterprise. According to the complaint, the music companies knowingly signed artists with gang ties, promoted diss tracks threatening FBG Duck's life, and profited from the deadly rivalry. After the lawsuit went public, IO tried to clear his name by holding a birthday bash concert in Chicago where he did something surprising. He paid tribute to all the people who had lost their lives in the Chicago gang war, including Lil Jojo and FBG Duck, who were his ops. FBG Duck's mom, Len Weekly, was having none of it and took to Instagram to respond, posting, "It didn't matter to nobody but us when Duck did it." Duck's mom was referring to 2019 when Duck tried to bring the gangs together through his track Chicago Legends. However, his ops didn't want a truce and continued dissing and shooting at Duck and his affiliates. Duck responded with one of the most brutal diss tracks in the Chicago gang war, Deadbit, where he dissed his ops and their dead homies. In the track Duck Raps Made Chicago Legends that was just about business, said, "I wasn't going to diss the dead, and okay, I did it, but T-Roy and OD them dead." As it turns out, this track would see a bounty placed on his head and eventually get him killed. As the weeks turned into months, the police worked tirelessly piecing together surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, and social media activi. The breakthrough came when investigators discovered a digital breadcrumbs trail linking the crime to the O-Block gang's social media posts boasting about the attack, coupled with video evidence that placed suspects at the scene, began to paint a damning picture. In one of the most bizarre cases of self-snitching, the gang allowed a vlogger, Panda Productions, into their stronghold. Interestingly, viewers easily pointed out in the comments section that they could spot the car that had been used in Duck's murder. One of O-Block's gang members, Boss Top, was asked about Duck, and he might have gotten a little bit cocky and revealed that they had killed Duck because of dissing King Von's best friend and dead __. You know nothing, but do you got any thoughts on FBG Duck? You know any thoughts on him? Did you know him, Duck? Did you know him before? That I don't know. All I know, don't say about Troy or rest in peace. It wasn't long before 5 of the 6 shooters involved in the case were in handcuffs. On October 13, 2021, the feds raided Ook and arrested 5 men for Duck's murder. These were Charles Liggins aka C Murder, Kenneth Robertson aka Kenny Mack, to Carlos Offord aka Los Christopher Thomas aka C-Thing and Marcus Smart aka Mewup. The five were charged with murder, unlawful use of firearms, racketeering and assault with dangerous weapons. The charges carried a mandatory minimum of life upon conviction. Turns out there was a rat in O-Block working with the feds who revealed that the one who paid for the hit rewarded the killers with custom-made O-Block chains. Things were falling into place as a video surfaced on YouTube of King Von giving O-Block members custom-made chains. But this is where it gets interesting, because Durk might have been the one who paid for FBG Duck's death. According to FBG, Butter V didn't pay O-Block guys for Duck's murder. I don't think Van paid them guys. I'm sorry to tell the world to know who actually paid the Ook gang members to kill FBG Duck. Butter revealed that you have to look at the suspect's arrest footage. It turns out Mewup and C Murder weren't arrested in O-Block. The arrest video coming out from when they got arrested for this Duck case. Yeah, they ain't sure Moo or C Murders. It turns out that they were arrested at a private hangar, and let's be honest, ain't no way regular O-Block gang members could afford to charter a private plane. Them boys got snatched at the airport on a private hangar. What's interesting is that at the time of their arrest V was already dead. That would leave one person with that kind of money to fly out. Mapo and C Murder on a private jet. V is dead, right? Okay, well, how is these paying for AJ? It turns out Durk could be the one who paid for Duck's murder, and just like Butter was snitching on him in a Vlad interview months before his arrest, it seems there was also a rat in his camp, because the feds have him in 4K paying for Quando Rondo's murder. Lil Durk caught in 4K. Drill rappers need to start to moving different, because it be their own people that be telling on them. Now the world knows that Durk was caught in 4K because one of his homies wore a wire around him and other OTF members. Court documents talk about a dude named OTF Jam, a trusted member of the crew who played a crucial role in the investigation. Jam, who had been released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder, was identified as an informant who had been cooperating with authorities for years. His decision to wear a wire and provide information to law enforcement was one hell of a backstabbing move. According to the indictment, Jam's recordings and the information he provided were key in linking Durk to the murder-for-hire plot. What's crazy is that Durk considered him a brother during Jam's 12-year incarceration for attempted murder. Durk stood by him, providing financial support and ensuring that Jam's needs were met. This included covering legal fees, purchasing a house and car, and giving him more than $50,000 in cash. Gave you music 50. Can you tell us how much he gave? Or you don't want got to that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight. Well, OTF Jam's revelations to the cops started with the tragic events of November 6, 2020, after King Vav was killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. The altercation began as a physical fight between Vav and Quando Rondo, escalating into gunfire when a member of Rondo's entourage allegedly shot Vaughn multiple times, resulting in his death. For Lil Durk, the death of his friend was a catalyst for further beef towards Quando. Rumors began to circulate that Durk had placed a bounty on Rondo's head. According to court documents, OTF Jam told cops that after Vaughn's death, Durk used coded language to tell OTF members that he would pay a bounty to anyone who would take part in killing Quando Rondo. Durk's cousin DeAndre Wilson also told OTF members that anyone who took part in the murder would be rewarded with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. The first time Quando Rondo almost lost his life was back in 2021 in Georgia. The night before the shooting, Quando had performed at a nightclub which was a short drive away from what would become the crime scene. After the performance, Quando and his team departed from the club and made a brief stop at a convenience store in Blackshear, Georgia. According to law enforcement sources, it was during this stop that gunfire erupted, targeting the rapper and his team. It is believed that Quando Rondo was present at the scene when the gunfire began, although he was not there when authorities arrived. One member of Rondo's entourage was injured in the attack, sustaining a gunshot wound to the hand. By August 2022, the situation reached a boiling point. According to federal court records, Lil Durk's associates allegedly learned that Quando Rondo was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. This information was used to ambush and eliminate Quando Rondo in the heart of Los Angeles. Lil Durk's associates DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay and ASA Houston arrived in Los Angeles. They had traveled from Chicago to San Diego and then driven to Los Angeles, allegedly using funds provided by Durk. himself. Upon their arrival, the OTF members met with Con Grant, a top associate who had flown to Los Angeles on a private jet. Grant played a crucial role in facilitating the operation, securing hotel accommodations for the group, purchasing ski masks, and obtaining 2 luxury sedans to be used in the ambush, according to